Hey, happy Friday, everyone. It is newsletter time. So today is going to be kind of a combination of things. I've been getting requests over the last few months for people to show kind of what I use on a regular basis, kind of jigs and setups and that kind of thing. So the first part of this video is going to be about that. I'm just going to kind of show you some general stuff that I use on almost every sign that I do. So I guess first of all, and then the second part of this video, I'm actually going to do some routing. We've got something really cool I want to show you that I'm going to be routing. So I guess first things first, I need, I forgot to tell you, right behind you there's a blue box. It's not very heavy. Forgot to move that over here before. So layout letters. I like these little boxes. These are what I keep my layout letters in, just for doing my layout. I know a lot of you guys don't use layout letters, you use printouts and stuff, but if you do use layout letters, these little boxes work out really good. Back in the 70s when we started business, they really didn't have stuff like this. We had to make our own boxes, but these are really cool. They're really inexpensive. You get all different sizes and shapes, and but these are kind of neat to keep your layout letters in. So that's one thing that I use for organization from that standpoint. Another thing, let's just go into, I kind of made a little bit of a list, make sure I don't forget anything. Oh yeah, this is a board that I call kind of my pedestal board. It's just a board that I use in place of bench cookies. It's what I set my board on that I know. This is about 5 inches, I think, and my general board is 6 by 20. This is actually 4.5 inches by like 23. So I know when I set a 6 by 24 board on there, I can scallop it all the way around, and it's not going to hit my surface down below. It kind of, and this is that little pad that I use that is a shelf liner or drawer liner. I'm all over the place, huh? But you see, you're a professional. You can handle this.
I'm going to smack you with the board.
I'm going to stay over here. So these are the bench cookies I was talking about. This thing kind of replaces, this is what I used to use, and these are cool. They're great, but I like this for my for scalloping and edging my boards, especially when I'm using that cedar fencing that's kind of thin. If you got a 3/4 inch board, you might not have to worry about it, but on the thin stuff, this makes it nice to just kind of build it up. So that's one little setup. I call it my pedestal or my scalloping board. Here's my sanding board. Oh, and the other thing is too, well, I'll do my sanding board first. So this is my sanding board that I made, and it's just made out of 1/2 inch MDF. I just glued and nailed these down, and then when I do my sanding, I put it in this in this corner. And this, by the way, is one of our students, I can't remember which one, suggested that I leave this short so that sawdust doesn't build up in there. So I just took my saw and cut a notch so that sawdust just clears out of there. It works out really well, much better. This is how I kind of clamp it down. This is another thing that I really like. I love these there you go. I love these Harbor Freight benches. I don't know, it's a couple $100. We've got several of them, and they work out really well. I always carved on benches in the shop before, but once we started kind of using this Harbor Freight bench, I really like it. It's got the vise built in, so it really helps for material clamp down. Anyway, I really like it. So that's that. Let's see. What else? Okay, I'm going to show my routers, my standard routers that I use. You guys know the DWP 611, my favorite router ever. And then another kind of an option for you is the little rigid. I don't even know what model this is. R2401. Yeah. And I got our base plates on it, of course. And then for a bigger router, I like the 618, the DeWalt 618. Also, the Porter Cable 690 LR is also a great heavier router. I try and keep my light operations for these routers and my heavier operations for the bigger routers. So those are kind of an idea of what I use for routers. Sanders, I use two main sanders. This is the little Skill 3x18. This is what, the 7510 model Skill, and that's the one I do my rough sand with. I've got a 40 grit paper on there, and then what they call the little armadillo, or what I call the little armadillo, is the little gosh, what size is this? I forget what size that is. Like a 3x14? Is that what it is? Or 2.5? I can't even remember now. Huh. 2.5. 2.5 by 14 or something like that. Anyway, that's a neat little sander. I really like it. It does, after a short period of time, it gets kind of hot. So you don't want to use it really extended period of time. That's the model 317. 2.5 by 14. I was right. Okay, so that is my routers, my sanders. Now, the other thing that I don't talk a lot about is... oh, I wanted to show again this little light that I use on my router. It's I guess you could use it on your sander too, but it's really cool.
So we can see the name of it.
Luminolight, and it's got that little clamp on it. Clamps right on the cord. You guys see me use it before, but I get a lot of questions on it. Amazon. 20 bucks or something like that. That's not much. And it's really handy. I really like it. The other thing is two different kinds of brushes that I use, guys. So this is the stiff bristle brush that I use. It's okay. I could like it a little bit stiffer than this. This one is not as stiff as I really like, but it works. You just have to really kind of muscle down on it to get all of the sawdust. I'll be using it here when I carve in a minute to get all the sawdust and chips out of your image or you're down in the carving, to make sure that you don't leave anything down in there. Then once the sign is all done and I've sanded it off, I use a stiff bristle brush. So I either use one of these, or actually I've got another one right here. I've got another one. I like this one even better. This is a little shoe shine brush. And I like this one actually even a little bit better than this one, but this one will work. But you wouldn't want to use this because it'll scratch that black in the background. I think that is about, oh, okay. And the only other thing that comes to mind, there's probably tons of stuff that I'm not showing that I use, but the only other thing is the black Sharpie. For when you get high spots, you gotta have one of these. So I just kind of wanted to go over that. I'm sure, oh, yeah, and here's that pad I was talking about. Now this is actually drawer liner out of my toolbox that I don't use. Got it
at the dollar store.
Yeah, but you can get this at the dollar store. You can get it at Walmart. Just in the housewares, it's either shelf liner or non-skid kind of stuff. Generally comes in a roll for like $1 at the dollar store. Works out really, really well for holding your stuff while you're working on it. All right, you guys, that is it for this segment. We're going to come back and do some routing. Be right back. Okay, folks, I hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions on that, let me know. But now we're going to do a little routing. We have, in one of our packs, our layout packs, we have little roses. And I've always wanted to have a little bit better rose, but Vicky found one that I really like. And this one, I test carved it a little while ago, and she found this, so we now have this. Are we going to have this on the website, or do we yet?
It's on the website.
Oh, it's on the website already. Okay. So, and this is 3.5 tall, so it's really made for, you know, a 1x6, but we can make them different sizes if you want it bigger. But, so I'm going to carve this on camera here. I'm just going to lay this out real quick, then we'll let it dry and come back and carve it. So we'll come back and carve that. Okay, folks, so one thing I forgot to mention, if you go back and watch one of our really early newsletters, number 4, this is number 200 and something, so you go back and watch newsletter number 4, I actually did a little tour of my Oatman shop, my little shed when I was carving up in Oatman, and that kind of tells you, will show you some other things, the way I kind of set my shop up, and I think that might be valuable for you if you guys haven't seen it. So anyway, let's get into carving this rose. And it's all dry now. I'm going to use my profile bit, my standard profile bit, and you guys will see I'm going to keep it at a pretty much a constant depth as far as the setting on the router, but you'll see me lifting it from time to time to get into tight places, and I do that quite often. It just is kind of a thing that I do. All right, so let's get after this. Okay, so as you guys could see, I could do that several different ways. I could have set the router at 2 or 3 different depths, but what I decided to do on that is keep it pretty deep at full depth, and then lift it up and kind of graduate it up as I needed to in some of those tight areas. But I think that'll come out all right. I'm going to spray that real quick. Then we'll let it dry and we'll sand it off, see what it looks like. So remember, this is, by the way, this is a select pine. Hope I don't spray my back wall there. Nice and light. Light touch with that spray can, guys. You don't need to spray it real heavy. That's all I need right there. We'll come back and sand it. Now finish sand with an 80. Here's where that brush comes into play. That's why I use that brush, guys. I keep air blowing on it, and it takes all those little feathers off. Oh, it takes all those little whispered feathers off of there. But I always keep air blowing on it as I use that brush. Bless you.
Thank you.
Just to get all those, I've lost a couple there. So now you can color this any number of different ways. You can use the little paint pens, which work really well. I'm more of a Sharpie guy, but the Sharpies are obviously very permanent or very temporary. Huh? A pink rose? No. When you do a rose, you can do that. I like, from a Sharpie standpoint, I like them a little bit lighter than this for the green stuff, but I couldn't find mine. But I really like these, ooh, I missed it there. I really like these chisel points because it's got the sharp down here. So if you need it to be a sharp point, you can. Or if you need to cover big areas, You can. No pressure. I'm doing this on camera. I'm more comfortable with a router in my hand than I am a pen. But all right, and then the red. This is a little fine point red, and it works. It works well. It just, I would have rather, I couldn't find my chisel point on my red either. But you kind of get the idea. Anyway, the thing about these Sharpies is they are temper. I used them all the time when I was in Oatman because it was a really fast way to get color on there, and it dries almost immediately. But I found that the signs that I had out for display, I would need to recolor them, probably once every month or two. Even with a finish on the outside of them, I would need to recolor them. But they're easy to recolor. You just do exactly what I'm doing, and it brings the color right back. So the paint pens are more permanent, no doubt. But I do like the Sharpies. I probably doing more here than I think. You can hear the country music in the background. I can hear Vince Gill singing in the background. Got the shop radio up really high. So it's kind of a cool little rose. I like this one much better than the one that's on our that's in our package of flowers and trees. Okay, guys, that is it for today. Remember, a week from tomorrow, which is, gosh, I want to say like the 25th, Saturday, whatever Saturday that is, that's our LTS. So we're only about a week away from the LTS. I've got something I'm experimenting right now. I'm hoping it works out because I got something really super special that I've never done before that I'm hoping works out. So wish me luck on that. But we'll be here for the LTS a week from Saturday for sure. We'll be talking about it more as this coming week comes. So everybody have a great weekend. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down. That's fine. I'm hoping it was helpful for you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please share it with your friends. And don't forget, if you do subscribe, click that little bell icon to get notifications so you know when we put up a new video, which is 3 times a week. It's a lot. Anyway, fortunately, I love what I do. So thank you so much, everybody, for all the support. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We finally got spring weather out here in Arizona in the 80s. So going to have to get out and ride the quads or go fishing or something. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday morning. Bye.